This is Greater Westtown Project with me, your host, Charlie Negron. Co-host over there is Danjuma Gaskin.
Hi.
And we have a guest speaker over here, Guillermo Fernandez. He is one of our trainees in our woodworking training program, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So first of all, I want to thank everybody for coming and coming along, and especially Guillermo. I know you're a little excited and stuff about being on TV and stuff, which is nice. And Danjuma Gaskin is one of our instructors there, and just want to start off with you first. Can you tell us a little bit about our woodworker training program and kind of what that's all about?
Yeah, so we have a 15-week training program where we focus on getting people hands-on skills and learning how to make cabinetry, what goes into making furniture and shop tools and safety and machinery. And the goal of that training is to get you the skills, and then we actually help with job placement afterwards.
Okay. So so the training program is, you said 15 weeks, right? So what is it's like working 5 days a week? Is it like full-time training? Or
well, the idea is like hands-on training, and so kind of it simulates what you would do in a job. We actually have a shop where you're in there about like 4 hours out of a 6-hour day. And you're actually making things, building things with your hands, learning what tools are right for the right job. And then we also have some other classwork associated with that. There's stuff like shop math and print reading, where we teach you how to like read shop drawings and blueprints, things like that. And then and a host of other things. But the training is actually at no cost.
Oh, great, great. So the title of Greater Westtown is wood manufacturing, right?
Yes.
When people think about woodworking, wood manufacturing, right, a lot of people think of construction. Is that anywhere like construction, or is it any differences?
You use some of the same machines or tools too, but with construction, you're focusing more on framing and like what goes into building a house. But with us, we're focusing on furniture and the smaller components that will go in a building.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm picturing a shop, right? Actually, I'm one of the instructors, but I'm kind of throwing this visual out there, right? So we're picturing a shop that when people think woodworking, they're thinking about like table saws, band saws, any other type of equipment that you might be able to describe to the viewer out there who might not kind of
there's the band saws, miter saws, table saws, but there's also things like the CNC machine.
Okay.
And the CNC machine is kind of like this automated machine that has a big router attached to it, and it cuts out the work based off the programming that you do. And so one of the things we actually teach the participants is an introduction to how to program and operate that machine. Because it's something you find in a lot of companies today. So with the automated work, what happens is you may have a company that builds, like, say, a bunch of bookcases, and that's like all they do. And maybe they use like a prefabricated material like particle board or melamine. And if you don't know what melamine is, you will by the end of this training program. So you would do that, and then the machine would cut out all these components, kind of like if anyone's ever been to IKEA. And then after that, you would assemble it. So CNC machine is one of the big ones.
All right. Yeah. Before I get to Guillermo, I'm going to be talking to you in a couple minutes. I want to ask you about, is there any projects that the students work on, right?
Projects that the students work on.
Yeah.
So actually, the way the training is project-based, and what happens is you get maybe 2 or 3 projects, like one of them is maybe like a table stool, And through that, you learn like lots of common practices that may be in the industry. Because our goal is to get you working, but we don't know exactly where you'll be working after the training. So we want to give you exposure to things like how to laminate, using like plastic laminate, veneering, working with solid wood, working with panel products, working with like a staple gun, things like that.
Great. So if you're interested in maybe thinking about applying to our training program, there's a couple of ways you could contact us. One of them is by phone. You could dial 312-563-9570, and you could talk to somebody there. We're having orientations for those the training program on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to do that, the other way you could do is look at us online. You can find us at www.gwtp.edu, right? And you'll be able to see the website. You'll be able to see some of the projects that the students are making, and even see the shop as it's in its current state. So, right. So now it's up to you, Guillermo. So how did you hear about our training program?
Before I get into that, I want to thank Charlie and I want to thank Danjuma and the News Network for giving me this opportunity to speak. Mm-hmm. And how I found out about the training program was I was just out and about. I was at my local Chicago Public Library branch, and I wasn't working at the time. And this is back in around early 2022. And I went to the library and I walked in and I was looking, there was a table full of brochures and pamphlets and resources. And I saw one that caught my attention, woodworking, cabinet making, CNC machine. So since I wasn't working at the time, and it's like, well, this looks like a beautiful opportunity for me. So I checked it out and I picked up, I still have the flyer at home. So
Since 2022.
Since 2022.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You're a little softy for souvenirs, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for souvenirs, brochures,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah. So I took a tour. This is again back in early 2022. So I took a tour, and then just around the time I took a tour, and then around the time I was pursuing other things, and then it wasn't until March that I really got to really come around and schedule an appointment and really hit the ground running with the program.
So what was your first step? Did you call or did you email?
I called.
You called. Mm-hmm. And when you called, what did they ask you to do?
So when I first called, I can't remember off the top of my head from when I first called back in 2021.
So they invited you in to come in to apply?
They invited me in, and then I took a test. It was like a brief, like maybe about no more than a half hour, just asking about measurements and basic math skills that I know that I pretty much picked on throughout school. Yeah. So it was really easy. I just needed a refresher. So it was really good to have that refresher right there.
So, and basically they gave you a whole bunch of information about what the requirements of the training program, qualifications, documentation you might need to bring in, things of that nature, right? So you also took a tour of the shop, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Anything that impressed you about that tour that kind of made you say, wow, I really want to go ahead and try this?
I was really amazed by the different types of woods that there were, particularly the tropical woods. Okay. I noticed that they were like very dense when I picked them up. Like I could take another piece of wood of the same size and pick it up, and it might be lighter, but then I pick one up of a specific species of a tropical wood, and it's like, whoa, like this feels very dense. Yeah. So I was really amazed by the different kinds of species that there were and all the different things that a person could make with it.
All right. So fast forward, right? You're in training program, and they give you a drawing of this first project, right? What's going through your mind when they lay out that that project in front of you?
When I see this project, I tell myself, okay, I'm gonna have to really dig deep and get the math gears rolling in my head. I see measurements, I see numbers, so I know this is gonna take a lot of studying, a lot of sitting down, a lot of collaborating with my teammates. So, and at the end, I saw a project being built, so I thought I'm ready for this, for measurements and doing all this math and learning.
Right. So, so Danjuma,
Yeah.
can you give us some of the qualifications about our training program?
Yeah. So we work with adults 18 and up. You don't need a high school diploma to participate, but we do give some assessments. We like for our participants to at least have a 6th grade reading and math level. You must be an Illinois resident, not necessarily in Chicago. We do have placement as far as jobs and stuff kind of in Chicago land, so the city proper and the surrounding suburbs as well. What else? You must be what would be considered a low-income resident. So the training is provided at no cost, provided you are someone, maybe you work part-time, or you are underemployed, or you're not working at all. Maybe you're collecting unemployment or something, public benefits. Then you will likely be a candidate that qualifies as far as that for the financial portion, because it is at no cost. So 15 weeks, you learn a lot. Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have to bring any tools to training with you?
No,
No?
everything was provided for me.
The materials too. And what else about that? So what's one of the projects you made?
I created a table stool.
Mm-hmm.
I created a table stool, and the legs are made from soft maple, and the stool itself is made from particle board, and I decided to decorate it with the sides. I decided to make it about it's like a black, maybe like the color of this mouse, kind of like in between this mouse.
Yeah.
So I made the sides that, and then at the top, I decided to make a dark navy blue, maybe of the same color of your sweater.
Okay.
So yeah,
When you say you decided to make it, did you have to like put something on top of it or surround that or what? What are you talking about? The color.
So I got to choose from different types of melamine to work with.
The laminate.
Laminate, pardon me. I got to choose from different laminates. So first it's just the particle board itself, and then from the different laminates that I was able to choose, I decided these two colors. When I put them together, I thought, wow, I would really like this pattern to attach onto there.
Good.
And where is that piece now?
It is sitting in the shop right now, in our shop, and I wanted to do a little bit, but it's pretty much complete. I just wanted to do a couple more touch-ups on it, and it's pretty much ready to go, ready to sit in my room.
All right.
Oh, did you hear that? Sit in his room. So the point is, you don't have to bring any tools. We provide materials, and the work that you do as a participant, you actually get to take home with you too.
You happy with that?
I'm more
You're
than
ecstatic,
happy.
right?
I'm
Yeah.
ecstatic.
So for the viewer out there who's interested in our training program, again, there's a couple ways you can reach us. You can go ahead and call us at 312-563-9570. You could also go online at www.gwtp.edu. You could actually fill out an application there, right? Just go ahead and follow the prompts on the website and stuff, and download the application and bring that in. We are located in the inner city, just on the west side of Chicago. We're at 500 North Sacramento Boulevard, and we do have orientations on Tuesdays and Thursdays for our woodworking training program. The orientation starts about 8:45 in the morning, and it lasts a couple of hours, most likely. Basically, application and information session. So you got this one fabulous project sitting in your room, right? But that's not the end of it, right?
No.
There's actually more. So tell us a little bit about this other project that you're working on at the moment.
So it is a nightstand. It's a nightstand that has I have the option of having a door at the bottom, or maybe a slide drawer, and it's probably maybe about, off the top of my head, maybe about 4 feet tall. So it's a drawer that you pull out, and then it has the door on it,
Okay.
that you could open, and then it has a shelf in there, and the top is made of accordion, and the legs are made from my legs, the ones that I chose, are made from honey locust
Oh,
species.
wow.
nice,
And
nice, interesting wood.
absolutely
Yeah.
beautiful pattern, and so I decided to choose. I got to choose from a variety of different veneers.
Okay.
And out of all of the veneers, I decided to work with the cherry veneer,
Mm.
and I put the veneer on the particle board and glued it on. So right now I'm in the process of finishing it. So I'm thinking about different things I could put with it. It's basically a pencil drawer, and with the shelf on the bottom right there.
Yeah.
And it's not yet ready to sit in my room yet. Got
Okay,
some
yeah,
time to go
some
with
time
that.
to go.
Yeah. So just to describe it a little bit more, basically it's 16-inch square, basically, right? About 20 inches tall, right? And you have a base cabinet. The bottom of it is solid lumber,
Yes.
right? It's kind of a framing construction, nice. You have a hand veneered cabinets all the way around, right?
Yeah.
And then you have that nice Corian. Did you pick out your Corian yet for the top?
I have not yet.
Not at the
no.
moment?
Not
Okay,
at the
good,
moment.
Good. What other, so there's another aspect of this training that you just started, right? That's actually pretty fascinating. I think this just opened up in our training program the last couple of classes, right? Can you talk to us or the viewer what that is?
I believe you're referring to a spray booth.
The spray booth,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
So the spray booth is, so how I would describe the spray booth to use. So first off, we need to have masks, ventilating masks, because it is a lot of, I can't remember off the top of my head what the finishing, but it's basically the finisher. So that sprays up a lot, and we work with a spray gun. And right now we're learning the basics of it, how to like assemble, disassemble the spray gun and the paint,
Yeah.
and the safetiness of having the mask on. And we're working with test pieces right now, so we have like a piece of board that we practice with ink, we practice with the finisher itself. So we basically just spray it on there, get some practice on it. So that's really exciting. I'm really excited about that part. It's really cool and fascinating to see the different tools that we get to work with, and a lot of them are modern tools, and it's like the stainless steel spray gun. So that's a really cool thing to work with, and to really like.
Yeah, this is an option that we've opened up into our training program for the last maybe 3 cycles, right? This is the third cycle right now. And what the students are going to be doing is actually finishing up this really nice hand veneered cabinet they're doing with a spray finish, right? The spray finishes that we use are all water based, right?
Yes.
So it's basically non-toxic, but you need the respirator because you don't want to breathe in the particulates, right? So really nice. So just appreciate that. Danjuma, you have anything to add?
Well, no, they're practicing on those pieces because your nightstand that you finish, you will put a nice like semi-gloss finish on that. So there's that. I did want to say we actually have a new class. The next class is going to start July 21st.
July 21st.
Yeah.
Okay. So for those who are interested, again, I'm going to give you some information. You might want to run and go grab a pencil or a pen and jot this down real quick. I'll give you a couple of minutes. We're going to be finishing probably in another 5 minutes and so. We'll be able to talk a little bit. So I just want to let the viewers know out there that the projects that are designed to help build skill sets, right, in the training program. So it's not only designed to build the skill set, it's teaching you machine operation, right? So what types of machines have you been using? If you can name, about 5 of them, what would your favorites be?
A lot of them are my favorites. I like a lot of the machines. I really like the sliding table saw.
Okay.
The table saw, and
So the sliding table saw and the table saw are different.
different.
Okay.
They're different things.
Okay.
Yes, and I really like the CNC machine.
Okay.
And there's a boring machine itself that bores the holes inside rails.
Okay.
And
Okay.
another part that I feel like is really, really cool was the veneer presses.
Oh, veneer press.
Yeah, so
So
that
that's how you press the veneer onto you glue your core.
yes.
You put the veneer face on there.
Yes.
And then you press it.
Yes.
Now, people might not think this thing is pretty small when they hear it press, but it's actually pretty big, right?
Yes.
It's a 5x10 table. Actually, the the CNC machine is also a pretty big machine, right? So
Yes.
it's like a 4x8 bed, right, where we
Yes.
could put parts and cut those things. Have you done any of the programming at all on the CNC?
I've got to toy around with it a little bit. I'm familiar with the variables that I need to type in, and a lot of like the pre-math that I would do on the board or on paper, so like that I could program it into the variables. So I've got to tinker around with it a little bit of what kind of variables to put. And as I put the variables and I look at a screen, it has a visualization of what it's going to look like. So
So you could program the machine,
Yes.
put it in the simulator,
yes,
and the simulator will simulate
Sure.
basically
Correct.
the actions of what the machine is going to be doing.
correct.
Nice.
Had you
Um,
done something like that before?
I've never done anything like that before.
Cool.
Did you find it hard or challenging?
No, actually, the programming to me was very simple. It was very straightforward, not complicated at all.
Okay.
Yeah, once I do some of the math, it's pretty easy from there.
Okay.
All right. So again, you can call us 312-563-9570. And also you can reach us online at www.gwtp.edu. I do want to talk about some of the classroom stuff that you
Yes.
cover, right? So there's math, right?
Math,
Most likely.
yes.
And it's not crazy math. It's not like you're doing any kind of like, astrophysics or anything like
No.
that. You're doing like math, a little bit of algebra, division, right? Subtraction, fractions, right? Because you're learning how to read a tape measure. Did the tape measure take a long time for you to learn?
No,
Was that instructor like fantastic?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I learned a lot in math class and measurements that I really didn't really catch on to in high school. So that's a really good thing about the math classes.
So the other classes you got is like maybe English,
Yes.
right? English, job readiness,
job readiness,
print reading.
print reading.
So Danjuma is actually helping with that class, right? Where he kind of shows you how to look at a shop drawing.
Yes.
You're not really doing any drafting or anything like
No,
that, right?
no.
You're just learning how to look at a drawing, kind of break it down to the components, right? So that's that aspect of it. And then there's a software program that you're learning how to do
Yes.
a little bit of 3D modeling in there and stuff. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So this program, 3D modeling, is called SketchUp,
SketchUp.
and it's some of it's it's basically this paid subscription, but as a student, I'm able to access it for free.
Free, okay.
And I'm able to do a lot of things on there. So, for example, this table right here, if I wanted to construct this table on SketchUp, I could do that. If I wanted to construct a bookcase, I could do that. And something cool that I'm working on SketchUp is a shop drawing that I'm learning right now of a bookcase. So I decided, I want to draw this bookcase on the SketchUp and be able to play around with the different settings, and I'm getting there. I'm like about 25% there, but
yeah,
it's
going to take a little bit of time,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's nice using a program like that so that way you kind of see how things fit together and stuff.
Yes.
In our training program, we don't really teach design. Most likely in a company where you get hired, you're not really going to do design, but SketchUp is a really good way to kind of express those kind of things if you want to and stuff. We only got a few minutes left, and I do want to make sure that I give you that number, 563-9570. 312 area code, and the website online is www.gwtp.edu. Danjuma Gaskin, I want to thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
a part of this. Guillermo Fernandez, thank you for coming in and spending a couple hours to get over here. I know you were a little nervous and stuff, but again, thank you. For everybody out there, we want to wish you a happy Memorial Day. Reach us at Greater Westtown Project if you want to get some information about our job training program. To all the viewers, thank you for joining us for this few minutes. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.